Season 2 has just dropped and it's looking amazing so far. So I wanted to give you the brand new best Season 2 settings so your game looks and performs the best it can. Real quick, I'm giving away 2 Season 2 battle passes out to those of you who subscribe and comment your epic name down below, and I'll select a winner in a couple weeks when everyone's had a chance to enter. Getting started with display settings, full screen is still the most optimal setting to use for the lowest input delay. Then for resolution, using native 1920 by 1080 is solid, but if you have frame drops, using a stretched resolution like the ones on screen will definitely help you boost your FPS. And for frame rate limit, for NVIDIA G-Sync users, cap your FPS to 2 to 3 frames below your monitor's refresh rate. And for AMD users like me, cap your in-game FPS to 1 value above your monitor's refresh rate. And then go into your AMD software, click the settings icon and then the graphics panel, and then turn on Radeon Enhanced Sync. Turning this on helps you to reduce your input lag and screen tearing. For rendering mode, if you strictly care about performance, use performance mode, and use the X12 on high-end PCs for performance and great game quality. Getting into graphics settings, I personally use 115% brightness with Tritanope on 10 colorblind strength. This enhances the game colors in a nice but subtle way so the game isn't too bright or too vibrant. On the graphics quality side of things, to get access to all of the settings, you need to switch from performance mode to DX11, and then once we change all of our settings, you can switch back to performance mode, but the reason we're changing it right now is because settings from DX11 do end up carrying over to performance mode. So the first setting is anti-aliasing and super resolution. This is essentially a game polisher, and it just removes all the jagged edges from your game so your game looks a bit smoother. Again, for performance, it's best to keep this turned off. Now for 3D resolution, use between 75 and 100 because that's the range where you're not going to get much graphics quality differences, but you will get a significant boost in your FPS. Now for shadows, global illumination, and reflections, turn all 3 of these off. And for view distance, I use medium because I like seeing builds and weapons from a little bit further away, but using a low view distance, you will spare some FPS and you can still see stuff from plenty far away on low view distance. And then I have my textures on low, and then for these 2 high resolution settings, I turn them both off as well. And then to conclude our graphics quality settings, I have my effects and post-processing both on low. Now for game UI settings, if you didn't know, Epic added a damage number scale, so now it's separate from your HUD scale settings. So now if you change your HUD scale size, it won't change the size of your damage numbers, and you actually have to go and change them right here. Next, for sensitivity, this is the current sensitivity that I'm rocking. I'm also using 800 DPI, so for those of you who are asking me about my DPI, that's what it is. Now I know this isn't one of my competitive settings videos, but don't worry, that's coming soon. But let's cover double movement. So in the same sensitivity tab we're in, go down and turn on use custom diagonals and use these settings. I want you to learn to use double movement because it's so helpful, it isn't even funny. It makes your movements and edits so much cleaner, so much smoother, and it takes so little time to get used to it. I promise you guys, turn this on and just thank me later. Now in the sound settings, have sound quality on low and 3D headphones turned off, and now turn on visualize sound effects. With the setting on, you can see the footsteps of nearby enemies, nearby chests, reboots, zip lines, and a lot more. It's literally a free advantage since not a ton of people use it, and it's actually extremely useful.